Yeah. Okay. Got it.
Got it. Yes, we
Got
can't
it.
leave meeting. Yes, got it.
Okay. So that means we are on live. Okay. So we are on live. So today is our 13th session.
Mm.
Okay. So we come.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
1 year passed.
It's so hard.
It's a 1 year past.
Yay.
13th session, which previous sessions you can go back and listen and practice, which Warapon normally send all those links. And now we are also preparing on a website as well, which you will be able to access and will be able to find it more easier rather than going on YouTube and try to find out. Okay, so if you go on our website, then you will be able to go easily to whichever days you want to listen. And frankly saying, I have all forgotten what I have taught over those sessions because I never had got the chance to go back and listen them. And all those again were not planned, and as it comes, as it on the spot. So that's why I also would like to go and listen sometimes as well. I even have this thought came into me saying that I think I should go back and summarize those sessions, which I have mentioned to Warapon as well. It will be very helpful for wider members. So if you are willing to volunteer, you're welcome to summarize the sessions. Okay. Right. In the meantime, because we are just on the month of 13, I have prepared one small survey, which Vodafone will send you all to fill it in, just to get the idea, and also checking, am I teaching good or not, or should I quit myself from and also get idea whether teaching or any suggestions if you may have to develop the qualifications. Okay. So that is just a preliminary introduction for today. Now, since we are on the 13th month, anybody wants to share or anything from your practices or anything that you're finding difficult? So we'll do about 5-10 minutes before we are practicing. So anyone would like to share or contribute?
This is like silence moment.
It is normal all the time, every group.
Crickets. I can share. I haven't joined last month, and maybe also the month before. I missed the last two sessions. Sometimes I got frustrated with because I'm studying at the same time, doing the job at the same time, raising the two kids, a lot of things ongoing. And I got frustrated with myself that I can't concentrate on doing something. I'm not in the now. I'm not at the moment sometimes. And I was like, oh yeah, I should meditate. I should try to calm myself. I should try to focus on what it is right now. I manage some time, but it's still not as often as I want to do. So yeah, I'm still learning, trying to get better at that. But yeah, sometimes it's complicated and difficult. Yeah.
Okay. So thank you for sharing.
Yay.
It's a difficult time and working and raising kids and also finding time to have your own self. Yes, it is not easy. Okay. So anyone else? Sanya.
Go on, Sanya. You can do it.
I think it helps me at least to practice. As I said, I'm not a regular practicer, but I think I a lot of friends said that okay, they're doing the meditation and really on a regular basis. But for me, it's quite let's say difficult to keep the discipline. And I think doing this type of regular meditation, it helps me as well to really get back. But having said that, I think I'm trying to do meditation during every moment that I'm living, if possible, that I don't have to think so much. Sometimes when I do sports and things like this, I was with myself and trying to calm myself down. I think with the techniques that I've learned, it helps me as well to do the mindful meditation in every moment, let's say. So I think it's helpful. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. Nikhil, do you want to share something before we go ahead?
It's a bit similar to what Sanya said right now. I don't do it all the time, but then I make a conscious effort. So when I know things are getting a bit dicey and there's too many things happening at the same time, then I say, maybe I need to, just stop, take a deep breath, and then just try to be in the moment. Similar when you do some sports too, I try to, focus on the activity that I'm doing. Or I always remember you said once, in the morning when you drink your first cup of coffee, feel the warmth of the cup, smell the coffee, So I try to do that. But of course, it's not like in every moment. But then I also feel like that I really need a holiday. I think, and sometimes the mental burden is a bit too much in the sense that, you don't see anything different from what I'm seeing right now. So I think just seeing something different would help. I mean, and I could have easily gone on holiday, but I had some issues with my passport and all that, which will soon be resolved. But then as soon as it comes, I just want to go somewhere. Just change the setting a little bit and then come back. I don't need too much to recharge, but just a little bit will help.
Good. Okay. What upon?
So for myself, of course, the meditation has helped me a lot in day-to-day life. So I use it and practice it regularly every day anyway, because it's like it's a drug, I have to take it in the morning. If I don't take it, I cannot start the day. So it's get used to that already. It's kind of my behavior. So it's helpful. To be honest, it's very helpful with this situation during COVID and during work and family and so on. So it's really, I applied it every time. If I didn't see this meditation, so I will be worse, I would say.
Okay. Virapon, would you like to share or rather quiet? Okay, maybe he wants to be quiet. Right. Okay. In terms of difficulties because of the responsibilities in life, it's difficult to practice. Well, I understand in that. And sometimes we also have to think of self-care, and now known as self-compassion. And that is also important. And you may have seen me reduced other jobs quite a lot as well. From last year, I was teaching so much, almost every single day, and engaging in so many other activities, not only at the center, but also the activities of other centers, engaging on that a lot. And it come to the point that I was unable to meditate. And also it was affecting my health. And as a result of that, I thought, okay, I need something to do. So I reduced teachings. Okay, I reduced teachings and I reduced a few activities, and I spend more time studies and the practices. Meanwhile, whenever other retreats comes, then I completely shut down from other things, other activities like that. And despite of that, nowadays, all weekends are very busy for me. Every weekends, it's been 2 months. Every weekend, I am awake from 2 o'clock morning and working up to 10 o'clock. So 2 days. Yeah. But rest of the weekday, I have reduced it. So this is normally because in general life, what happens is that we do not see the importance of the practice. And despite of these busyness and despite of these stress and worrying things happening because of the work, the neighbors or the child and our own schedules, we still have to find sometimes for our own peace of mind. Like every day, I just go out for 1 hour with the nature, spend time just doing walking, mindful walking, try not to think of anything. Even there is a thought arises, I just go. And I have a fixed time of a sitting and practicing, which I try to stick with it. Unless some days that I do not do, like weekends nowadays, I have not done it for 2 months. So during that set time, like 1 hour or 2 hours time, morning and evening times, I try my best to be there to practice. And meanwhile, other times I spend time walking and mindfully walking. And this is, again, in general life, what happens is that we try to control the situation, thinking that it brings me happiness. Yeah? And we have this thought of grass on the other side is always green. So we want to go and grab that grass rather than seeing where we are in. So because of this controlling habit or controlling mind, thinking of bringing this is bringing us happiness, we become more miserable. We become more stressed, and we have a psychic irritations, increasingly developed in our mind, and that even makes worse. And even when we meditate, what happens? We are carrying everything on our shoulder and meditating, thinking, want to let go, but you're still keeping them in. You don't want to put them down. And you're meditating with the whole world in your head, in your shoulder, and then meditating, hoping I want to let it go, but you're still holding on to, no, I want. I have to think it. How can I deal with it? How can I sort it out? So you're thinking of those on that. So we cannot overcome that psychic irritation. So think about meditation is like a proper holiday. When you go to holiday, what do? You leave everything. If possible, in a holiday, we still have a mobile phone, but we minimize the use of mobile phones, use of all the electronic devices, and connection with the rest of other world, like friends or families, we reduced significantly. So same thing in the practice of a meditation, think in that perspective that I am on the holiday. So this is called a holiday for the mind. It's called a holiday of the heart. Ajahn Chah used the word holiday of the heart. So you just go and meditate there by not taking all those on your shoulder and not taking all the psychic irritation of, why not this, why not that, I haven't done this, I haven't done this, this is not what I should be doing. I should be doing out there and actively doing things. Yeah. So take that away and use meditation as like a proper holiday, leaving everything behind, put it down, and then use this, let's say, half an hour meditation. This half an hour meditation, you just sit and observe whatever is happening. We begin with our primary object, right? So whether it's a breath in and out or rising, falling, just try to be with. It doesn't matter how long you can. Just observing it, and then, okay, thought might will come. Know that thought. Let it go. You can't concentrate on the breath. It's okay. Okay, I can't concentrate on the breath. What am I watching? What am I having an experience? So knowing what's happening when it is taking place. Yeah? When it is taking place. And with this, we are living in the present, but having a great holiday and enjoying everything what's happening, watching this objectively. And this will change. So that's why the practice of a meditation is basically a changing into the new habits or adapting the new habit for our own mind and our heart. So learning to see the whole world, the whole situation in different perspectives, a very new world. And that you can develop by being aware of what you are, how you are, when you are in this moment. And now, in this case, I think I will teach you this. I have taught already the 7-part body scan, and this also helps a lot. And here, 7 parts body scan. Again, you don't have to go through all whenever you need it. You can just focus on one single part, just to relax and just to connect and train yourself, right? And to always think, always have this mind that our happiness, we shouldn't be, relying or relied on any other out conditions. The happiness is not depending on conditions. Happiness is knowing that condition wherever we are, whatever is there. Okay, so with this, let's practice this body scan practice. And then after this body scan practice, you can choose any part just to be mindful whenever you need it. Okay, so with the sound of a gong, I will lead you the meditation. So bring your attention to the room, acknowledging yourself sitting. Releasing yourself from all the clutters and the irritations or any burdens, freeing yourself and fully connect within. Experiencing body sitting, like imagining you are sitting in front of the mirror and looking at your body posture, how you are sitting, checking whether you feel comfortable and relaxed or not. And if there are any parts that you feel uncomfortable, just let them relax. experiencing the entire body, sitting and feeling. And relax. Now gently bring your attention to your head. Feeling sensations in your head. Entire head. What sort of sensations you can feel? A tiredness in your eyes or back of the eyes, or sensations on the forehead, feeling tiredness in your brain, or feeling so fresh, so openness and so lightness or happiness. Whatever sensations are there, observing them objectively as they are. So whatever sensations are taking place, you're feeling cold or you're feeling hot, feeling warmness, an entire head experiencing any sensations. And slowly shifting your attention to the right hand, the entire hand, from the shoulder to the tip of the fingers, observing what sort of sensations are there. Or if you have been working hard or just came back from gym, what sort of tiredness or tension going on, or any heat or cold, or relax, heaviness, observing. And if you have any particular discomfort on the right hand, spending a little bit more time on that and see what happens, what sort of sensations are there. And how are you feeling the entire hand? And slowly but mindfully shifting your attention to the left hand, from shoulder down to the tip of the fingers. Observing whatever sensations are there. Observing it objectively, whether it's a pleasant sensation or that is unpleasant sensations. Treating them equally. What happens in your arm, your hand, your palms, and your fingers, or any particular part that you really needed good care, and spend time watching, observing, without holding or neglecting any feelings. And gently, with your full attention and consciousness, shifting that awareness to your front part of the body, neck down to the belly, lower belly, the chest and the belly. What sort of a sensation are there? So observing whatever sensations are there on your chest and on your belly. And shifting your attention to the back of your body. Neck down to the bottom, the entire back. Are you feeling discomfort or are you feeling comfort? Whatever sensations are there. And if you need, you may little stretch to have an upright position, just to feel a comfortable position, and observing whatever sensations are there. Unconsciously moving your attention to the right foot, starting from the thigh up to the tip of the toes. Observing what sort of sensations are there, or whatever sensations are there, mindfully observing it. This moment, you don't have to move if you are sitting on a floor. Whichever position you are in, simply observe it, acknowledging it as it is. And whatever sensations arises, just be mindful of it. Likewise, shifting your attention to the left leg and observing whatever sensations are there. Whatever sensations that are there, observing them objectively without creating towards a likeness or a dislikeness. Our job is to simply watch and observe, likely sitting at the bank of the river and watching the river flow. Whatever sensations are there, whichever natural phenomena are there, observing them. Similarly, reversing the process, observing the left leg from tip of the toes to the thighs. What sort of sensations are there? What sort of feelings you can observe? And how is your reaction to it? So this moment, not just a body part, but try to observe the sensation as the main, and your reaction, your relationship with the sensations. Each feelings that you observe and how you relate to it. And moving to a right leg. Observing sensations from tip of the toes up to the thighs. moving into your back. Just observing whatever sensations are there. Shift that attention to the front part of the body, observing that front part of the body. And the front part of the body you may divide into two sections, the abdomen and a chest, or entirely observing it. And do not cling or hold. And do not generate. Try not to think anything, but observing as they are, observing the sensations. So shift that attention to the left finger, left hand finger, and slowly the entire hand, observing it, all the sensations. And shifting that attention to the right hand, from fingers to the entire hand up to the shoulders. Observing any sensations are there and how you feel the sensations and what is your relationship with it. How mind engages with it. And to your entire head. And observing all the sensations that is taking place in your head. And observing those sensations with an objective perspective and how you relate to it. Are you making it to be pleasurable, unpleasurable, liking, disliking, or observing it objectively? Now with this, observing the entire body at once, rather than a part by part, observing the entire body, feeling the entire body. How do you feel now? What are the sensations there? Are you feeling comfortable? Are you feeling relaxed? What is your mental state? Where your mind normally goes in the body, where it feels more comfortable, where it feels to be grounded. And naturally, mind always goes to somewhere, something that is always moving. So majority of us will observe the rising, falling of abdomen, which happens, which takes place naturally. Now, just observe the rise and fall. And see what happens. And here, rather than just observing, mentally making a note, so consciously aware of each thing and making a mental note of it, rising, rising, falling, falling. So spend some time observing the rise and fall of the abdomen, settling, grounding, relaxing, knowing. And as you hear the gong, at the third gong, shift your attention to your eyes and slowly opening up, come back to normal and reflect for a few seconds. Okay, so thank you very much. I hope that it gives you a boost and rest it both physically and mentally. So before moving on, anybody wants to share of this practice? No?
Yeah,
Thank
it's just
you.
what you just said before, that you tried, you're thinking you want to let go, and that it's a heavy weight on the shoulder.
Mhm.
just try to keep on and think, yeah, I have to let that go. I have to let that go, and just keep turning. But one moment it was like, it just gone. Somehow it gone by itself, by not me thinking that I have to let go. Somewhere in between, it just happened. And after that, I can focus on just breathing and focusing on how I felt and everything. But yeah, the first half was really heavy. And exactly what you say, it was on the shoulder. And after that, it just somehow it happened. I don't know how, but we'll try to keep that coming. Yeah.
Good. Okay. I think Nikhil wanted to say something. Nikhil?
Yeah. Initially it was fine. And then when we went to the right hand, and then I started to feel a little pain. And after that, I couldn't stop thinking about it. It was very, very difficult to see, okay, what am I feeling in my left hand? Oh no, it's still paining here. So, and then I was like, oh no, now I'm only thinking about this. So it took some time. So I found that it's slightly difficult, but it's fine now.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So anybody else? No. Okay. Yeah. So what happens is that the theory is one thing, practice is another, and this we have to understand clearly. Okay? Although in the theory during this training time, I am guiding you to go through these stages. But in an actual practice, you may not be able to follow. And this is what is the fact. And then, as you have said, oftentimes our mind simply grabs one thing and then we'll be wandering on that for a longer period of time. But over the period of a practice, gradually those moments will fade away. And with that fading, we will be able to follow each steps more clearly and more thoroughly. And these stages, as we follow, not only we are focusing on it, but also it is helping us to be in a present moment with the help of present sensations or present objects. And that will simply changes. So that's why practice of a mindfulness meditation is a training, right? A training ground, a training ourselves to become aware of things as they really are. Okay, so that's why the theory is one thing, practice is another. So I'm just giving you a theory that this is how you will be practicing, but in the practice you may not be able to follow entire. But as you develop, eventually you will be able to follow entire process. Right? And further on, and we may read the books, or we may have, throughout this time of learning and practicing, have collected so much information how one should be practicing meditation. And here again, we have to drop those. And all the knowledge that we have acquired, we have to drop them all when we are practicing. Right? If you remember, I told the story in the past that whenever we enter to the meditation retreats, masters will tell us to leave our knowledge, our status, our name, our fame. So leave behind the gate. Go with the slide, and a new, like a new, fresh a body and a mind. When we go with this, then we will be able to learn more. So we have to drop the theories down and then move on with the present moment awareness. There are stories that someone have read or practiced. Oh, sorry. Someone who practiced and then and holding those theories so much not able to, keep it into the practice, cause a lot of difficulties. And this story, one story now just remembered, during the time of the Buddha, there was a one monk who was knowledgeable and well respected in a group. But whenever he comes to see the Buddha, Buddha always call him empty something, empty scripture. So he knows all the scripture, but he is referred to as empty scripture. And that basically because he was always holding on to the theories rather than the practice. And with that, he could not comprehend the teachings. So that's why theory is one thing, practice is another. And in a practice, it is obviously some days we can follow entire, other days we can't. It's not the question, it's not the big deal. The matter is ability to be mindful what's happening when it is taking place. Now, when we are observing the body parts, we can't. It's okay. And we're stuck on a right hand or a left hand or on a leg, a feeling of the pain, and it's the intensity of the pain is there, then just spend time watching that intensity of the pain. So that's why, if you remember, notice the second round when we're coming up from the legs, I mentioned you to observe more sensation. I requested you to observe how your mind related to those sensations rather than the body parts, right? So it's a second way of dealing with that. And the benefit of the practice of this body scan is that normally we will be taking the entire world in our head, and then we want to cover it by our thoughts. There is a story, I think I have told you previously, that a man, seeing that the world is so dirty and so troublesome, I will cover the entire world with a leather. And it won't be possible. So one wise man told him, rather than covering the entire world, just make a shoes. So wherever you go, the leather is always covering. So that is the practice. So instead of changing this entire thing, we change ourselves. So we training ourselves to adapt into the new situation. And rather than letting this psychic irritation bothering us, take this irritation as an object and move on, practicing on. And normally we try to condition ourselves for our happiness. And here, try not to conditioning to things to gain the happiness. So this is the main practice. So that's why in a practice is nothing is wrong, nothing is right. All matter is whether you know or not what's happening in the moment, here and now. Right? Anything else? It's a matter of a knowing. Anyone? Nikhil wants to say? No? Okay.
Oh, no.
So that's why this is the matter, and how we practice. Another thing in the practice, what we have to be conscious of, that time never exists in the practice. Time never exists. Time is not the problem. In a practice, although when we practice, always say that, okay, be present, in the present, know the present. Present, where is the present? Can you find the present moment? How would you define present moment? Is there a present moment? Hmm?
It's fleeting, right? I mean, it's now and it's over.
Yes, it's always over. There is no present moment. It's always changing, always changing. It's like a ticking clock. Where is the actual clock? It's always ticking. Yeah, always ticking. But in order to remember the things that had happened, we put the clock in a stop position. We stop that clock and we take it that as the moment. Okay, that is the moment. And then we hold on to that, right? Hold on to that moment and then taking that into our thoughts and a process of working. And that is bringing the stress and unhappiness. Our mind is unstable now because of that, stopping the clock on that. We move on, but we still think of that stop the clock, thinking that that is the moment. The practice of a meditation is helping us to learn to know that everything is in a flux, like the ticking clock. It's ticking all the time. And practice helps us to know this ticking. Okay, now it's ticking, 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 without having any holding onto it or grasping onto it. Rather than become a slave to this ticking clock, we become a master of it. Okay, this is happening, fine, go on. Because the time never stops. Yeah, time never stops. Time not only not stopping, but also time itself, it is killing. And then there is no like a interval time. There is no, okay, now I need a rest. Time never rests. Although you take the battery out, it's still ticking. Still ticking. The conceptually it is stopped, but in ultimate it's still continue. Same in our life too. Our life also ticking all the time. And then what happens? We simply take the moments that we dislike, moments that we like, holding on to it and thinking that it's like stopping the conventional clock, taking the battery out and thinking this is what I want, whereas you have already moved on. It's like in the games, after a couple of minutes or after half an hour or an hour, let's say football. Yeah, I don't know how long they play one session. Is it 45 minutes? I forgot now. Yeah, so 45 minutes play, and they will have a break. Yeah? And then they will come back again. In our life, doesn't happen like that. Doesn't happen like that. Okay, I will have this time and then I will have a break. And the same with like even the COVID-19. Okay, let's the COVID have only 2 years and then have a break and then come back later. It won't happen. Life must go on. It will go on. And in this life, who is walking? So who is having this life? It's us, every one of us. And in this process, as a family member, you have a responsibilities and a duties. Like let's say as a mother, you have a responsibility to fulfill the children's need. As a, let's say, a worker, yeah, you have a responsibilities at work to fulfill. And whichever status you have to fulfill your duties and responsibilities. And in that responsibility, we cannot stop. We have to do those duties respectfully, and with the responsibility, fulfilling that responsibility. And only then what happens that we are following the clock, like we are living in the present moment. It's like organizing our life. And here we have to ask, what is the purpose of the life? Or what is the purpose of doing it? Checking that motivation is important. And if you have remember, I was referring in our life, even the meditation, that what is the motivation? What is the purpose that you are practicing meditation? So you have to know that. And that is the goal. And this you will be able to comprehend with the meditation, that the moment when your mind settles, the enlightenment takes place. Like if you are too much disturbed, you cannot solve the puzzles. But the moment, let's say you are having a shower, you are having a bath, and you let go of all the worries and the stress, and suddenly happens, oh yeah, that is, yeah. Or even when you are going for a walk, a little walk, or just drinking a cup of tea, and with full absorbed in that cup of tea and drinking it, feeling that cup of tea and feeling of that the warmness and the environment, and suddenly the mind clicks in, and then that is. I have heard one physics student, and later on he became a physics teacher, but he just died 2 years ago, so last year. He said that while he was working for the army, armed force in the UK, one night he was drinking a beer. In the night, drinking a beer and having a smoke. The puzzle that he was working for days, with that smoking, the puzzle just clicked. And he said that he didn't have anything. All what he had was the cigarette box. So he wrote on a cigarette box the notes, and then went into the lab, and he developed this destructive, was not good, but the destructive weapon for the armed force, which is now become kind of one of the tools in the army. So like that, it's like a sudden enlightenment arises when the mind is so calm and zoned in and quieted. And that is the reason why we practice meditation, finding the calmness and serenity in the midst of the chaos. In the midst of the chaos. And then how we walk on this path, there is things that we have to change our habit patterns, things there are needs to put more effort and solving and developing like that in our life. Sometimes we have to say enough is enough. Yeah? Have you ever come across saying enough is enough? Yeah? Why do you say enough is enough? Yeah? Why do you think you say enough is enough? Is that because you can't do anymore? Or is that because it's fed up? Or is that because I need time for myself? Right? So all comes here. And that basically means that we have to know when to cut. We have to know when to put on. And we have to know when to find the right time. And this comes gradually as we become more aware of ourselves. We may think that I love my family, my children. I may be saying, oh, I love this job. But end of the day, we have to love ourselves. We have to take care of ourselves, right? If we are not taking care of ourselves, we would not be able to fulfill others' need. Suppose as a mother, if you do not look after yourself, you put a lot on yourself, then that stress will pass on to your children. The anger, the hate, the tiredness, the grumpiness, you will pass on to them and they will pick it up. And then they also will react in the same way. So that's why looking after yourself, first we have to look after our physical healthy and well-being. And this physical well-being, we can do by having a good rest, having a breaks, and having a time for yourself, having a walk. And with this, it also mentally helps as well. And here, mental health and well-being is also another factor that we have to work on. And this is again plays a vital role for our happiness. And here comes the meditation. It doesn't mean that the meditation is only the way. It's just a one of it. Right? Remember that it is one of it. But apparently, this is one of the most what's called effective one, and costless. All what you need is the effort, effort to do. But because of this less working, less energy, and you have to sit there doing nothing, can be very troublesome. Why I am sitting here, what I'm going to get from, when I'm going to get. So we become a more as like a materialistic view. We take it on and thinking of a result like instant results. Like a Nestle produces instant coffees, 3-in-1, and so instantly there. All you need is to boil the water and put that instant coffee there. So coffee is there. Everything is blended there. Life is not like that. Meditation is not like that. So you have to know how much portion of the tea, coffee, the sugar, and the water and the milk need to put in the cup so that this cup of coffee becomes a perfect coffee. And each coffee again different. Some people would like to have a little bit more sugar. Somebody would like to have a little bit of more coffee, and somebody would like to have a more milk. So each one of us has got a different flavor, and yet instant coffees like a Nestle produces saying that this is what you need. This is enough for you. So practice of a meditation will help us to see the difference, not just the instantly happening. There's conditions that is bringing for the right portion in our right, for our right life, and we can move on rightly. And this is where it comes the wisdom part. always need to check how much you can hold, how much you can bear, and how much you can carry on. Importantly, ability to leave it, let it go, which normally we are very what's the word called? We do it very little, or maybe not at all. Leave it. Yeah, let's go and let it be. It's a very difficult one to do. Or let's say enough, or and that's it, like that. We always having this fixing mind and doing mind, and I have to do it, like that. But there is a saying called, when it says that you can't do it, then you can't. Doesn't matter how hard you work. So all you have to do is to just leave it. And the practice of meditation will help us to see that, the moment when it is taking place, and when it is happening. And with that, we will be able to sort out our life properly and carry on with a life, and we become happier. Right? So time is not the trouble. As the trouble is how much we practice, and checking our motivation to practice will help. Okay. So anything, otherwise we practice another session. Anyone wants to share or any question? No? So that means still digesting all the information. Where to start, what to do, what is it, what I'm hearing, is it true, how can I apply, and sort of those questions. There is a saying that do not ask what, ask how. And then everything sorts out itself. Right? Right, if nothing is there, so then let's practice. Okay, so with the gong, let's practice. Relax your body, relax your mind. Be in the present. Grounding yourself, and just free yourself, doing nothing. Freeing both mind and body. Let's say doing nothing. Relax the entire body and mind. As though you are floating on the sky, doing nothing. The mind is free like a bird on the sky, floating. Body is simply floating on the sky. You're not holding, you're not doing anything. Just let it be and let it flow. Releasing all those thoughts, emotions, doing, shorting, and the nature of controlling everything. As though, like, you may have seen the picture of when someone dies, the so-called the soul just travels on the sky, and so you are traveling there, just on the sky freely. Or you may feel like you are on a swimming pool and you're just lying there. Let the water holds you, both mind and body, just freeing yourself. Not holding anything. And you may have this connection with your breath, that you are taking the breath in and breathing out. So there is an incoming breath and outgoing breath. A connection develops. Let's see, if you do not do, what happens? Just let it flow, let it breathe itself, and just watching it. And you will be realizing that unconsciously we are breathing, we are making the breath coming in and going out. You will realize that you're constantly engaged with the breath, incoming and outgoing breath. You may have a feeling of a tiredness, just watching this breath, just subconsciously processing this incoming breath and outgoing breath. Let's see, can you take away that doing? Taking the breath in and out. So taking out that nature of control the breath. Although subconsciously we are still engaging and controlling this breath. Now, as you watch and take away that subconsciously engaging in the coming and moving out breath, as you disconnect that doing, see the beauty of the breathing follows, naturally flows, so smooth. So subtle, so shallow. You see, now your feeling is different. Actual, what breathing in and breathing out is taking place is different. And the mind that is watching becomes separate from it. You become an observer, the real observer. You may notice oftentimes you may have to take a long breath just to feel that I am breathing properly, or a feeling of a shortage of the breath. And that is simple because subconsciously we are taking control of this breath, or we are trying to control this process of the breath. So let it flow and doing nothing and just watching, see what happens. And here, rather than just having the perception of the breath, just watch the sensation. What do you feel? As breathe in and breathe out, what do you feel? Are you feeling any heat or cold? A lightness or feeling stiffness? Comfortable? And can you feel that when this lightness and relax and these sensations that affects to the entire body, feeling relaxed? The entire body feels so lighter, so relaxed. But yet the central point, the focus point, the breath is still going on, occasionally coming back to the breath. So despite the breath is our main object, and yet we're coming back once in a while. There's a constant move going on, constant change taking place. Each feelings and sensation that we have also constantly changing. So mindfully observing that. Now we'll practice the loving kindness meditation. So bring your attention to the entire body. Feel the sensations in your body. Whatever sensations are there, just be mindful. And relax. And bring your attention to your hands. Whichever position your hands are, be mindful. Do not move, do not change. Just observe the sensation there. The pressure from your hand on your lap or on your thighs. Observing sensation, the lightness, the heat, the softness, warmness. Bring that attention to your heart. Feeling the beating heart. As you breathe in and breathe out, feeling the heartbeat. Now, if you can't feel the beating heart, you may put your hand, right hand on your heart, or physically smiling. The smile and feel the connection with your heart. And as you feel the connection with your heart, generating loving kindness and compassion to yourself, may I be well. May I be happy. May I be at peace. So from bottom of your heart, genuinely sharing this loving kindness and compassion to yourself. May I be free from suffering, feeling freedom from suffering. May I be free from hatred, ill will, animosity, hurtfulness. May I be free from enmity and danger. May I be liberated, liberated. Similarly, sharing loving kindness and compassion to all other sentient beings, starting from near dear one, or any particular person that you would like to share to begin with. So bringing into your mind of that particular person, sending this love and kindness. May you be well. May you be happy. May you be at peace. May you be free from suffering, free from hurtfulness, hatred, calamities, troubles of a body and mind. Similarly, whatever beings there are, starting from near dear one, a parent, husband or wife, children or family, friends, relatives, and even sharing it to those who are affected by this COVID-19 and suffering, both those who are mentally suffered from the fear of getting it, but those who are affected by the COVID, visible and invisible beings in the room, in the city, in the country, on earth, in the universe. Whatever beings there are, may they be well, may they be happy, may they be at peace. May they be free from suffering, free from hurtfulness, hatred, ill will, animosity. May they be free from troubles of a body and mind. May they be liberated, liberated. And whatever beings there are, those who are in suffering, may they be free from that suffering. Whatever beings there are, those who are well and happy, their well-being and happiness increase. And bring that attention to your hands, aware of sensations in your hand. And to your body. aware of the sensations in your entire body, observing it objectively. And bring that attention to your eyes. Observing attention. And observing the intention to open your eyes. And as you hear the gong, slowly opening your eyes and perceiving anything that you see. Mindfully and reflecting a few moments. Okay, so thank you, everyone. Okay, so this is the end of today's practice. Before ending, anyone has got anything to share or anything to ask? Or it's too much? Okay, the floor is yours.
Okay, me again. The second one, I go in with a different mindset. It's not to let go anymore, but let it be. And that was helping because it worked. I was able to focus on the breathing and everything. And actually, what came in my thought is that breathing is actually very natural mechanism of a human being or anything alive. You're alive, you're still breathing. If you're not breathing anymore, then you're gone. So it's right there, and we forgot that sometimes. We caught up with trying to achieve something, to do something, to fix something, and we forgot that we're actually a human being, not a human doing. Just try to go back to that. Just breathe. That's what I got out of this second one.
Good.
From what you said also.
Okay. Now. Okay. Sanya, you want to say something?
Actually, two things. I got it today, actually. The first one was that I think we were talking about, time and the present moment, which actually, if you're trying to live with the present moment, I think that's probably create more distress rather than let go. I think we should let's live the present moment, rather live with it, because actually the present moment itself, it is so immense. If we're trying to create a snapshot of everything, then we cannot comprehend anymore. I think by understanding this, it will help us to let go things easier. And actually, the time that we discussed a bit, it was also a little bit interesting, because even in the science, we don't even know when the time is actually started. There were a lot of theory about Big Bang, that's the creation of time, blah, blah, blah. But I think that's a bit of the other side. I think it's important is that to live with something which is always changing. And I think by not addicting to anything, just see it objectively, as you said, I think it will be very helpful for people. And I think we all understand that, okay, we have to let go and things like this, but actually sometimes we unconsciously not letting go, but we believe that we let go of things and then we keep accumulating things. And the second point is, this enough is enough. It's I think it leads to many consequences, mentally, emotionally, depends on how you look at it. I think people might say enough is enough in a very frustrated way. Enough is enough with anger and stuff like this. But actually, enough is enough objectively. It means enough is enough. You just see it objectively, and and that's a fact, because enough is equal actually. And then you just don't take it subjectively as object. I think that this is a two thing which I think I start to I think I now understand it very clearly. And about the meditation itself, I think the first round I try to relax, but I think it's a bit too much relaxation, so I go into a different two relaxing things. The second time I try to keep the posture a little bit up, because I mean, when we do the body scan, we say, okay, where the tension is. I think the tension is there, and if you don't keep the tension on some part of the body, then you start to go to sleep. So I think it's holding up the body and then maintaining it consciously. I think it helps as well to not go into too much of the relaxation. I think this is also, it also helps because, as I said, sometimes I try to meditate in every moment, but as we have a lot of dynamic around us, it's also very hard to realize where the calmness actually is. And I think by coming like this every month, it really helped me to do it properly. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Very good. Okay. Right. Varapan, do you want to say anything, or we just say goodbye?
So it's very good session. I just learned really from the practicing is the present moment. What does it mean? I just got it today. To be honest, just watching here and then look at the thing is changing. We try to stop things, that's why we hold it. And actually we just step and look at that, what is changing. So that is present moment.
Yeah.
So we will be free from everything. And again, come to the enough. Does it enough? So it's the same, which is enough is enough, like Sanya just said. If you understand yourself very clearly, then you got it. Enough is enough.
Well, good. Yeah.
Thank you.
It really brings happiness, isn't it? When you are not conditioning yourself. Okay, so we must end here for today. Thank you everyone for joining, and we'll meet again next month, which Varapan will send you a link and a date. Meanwhile, she will send you this survey as well. I hope that everyone will fill it in and send it to me. So thank you and have a good weekend, and we'll see you next month. So bless you. That's it. Thank you. Bye.